Okay, so I'm making meatballs. You're not always going to be able to see my face, but at least you're going to be able to like see what I'm doing. So you're going to need 2 eggs, depending on how big you're making it, onion powder, garlic powder, we use Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, and I'm going to be adding rosemary because I feel like it. Again, you guys can add whatever you want. This is just like what we put in. You're also going to need breadcrumbs, like always. We're going to be making an oven version because I like it that way, and I felt like it. So you're going to start off with your eggs, and you're going to have to put your hands in, so make sure to wash your hands and stuff like that, especially with, Corona. So you're going to start off with both of your eggs. And put that in, right? I'm gonna wash my hands because this is disgusting. And then I always keep a towel by my side just in case. And then when you add your seasonings in, since you can't really try it, you just need a smell. Based on smell. It's all based on smell. So your nose is basically gonna be what you're tasting. So you're gonna add, however much you want. That is very unsanitary. Add it in. Remember, this is like a big batch of meat, so you're gonna need to add a lot. It's not like a little bit. This is like flavoring. This is gonna be the main part. So you're gonna need that. And then where I'm just adding it into what seems great. It may seem like I'm adding a lot of stuff, but you just put what seems appropriate. Background is my mom yelling at my family because you see that? That's what I live with. Later on she's gonna post this onto your group chat so y'all can actually learn how to cook, which I feel really bad because most of you guys don't know how to cook. To be honest, I've seen this a lot. Cooking is an art and baking is a science. And cooking is just creating whatever you feel like. So now I'm gonna go with my hands. Actually, I forgot to add salt. Don't forget that. I just smelled it right now because that's one of the main essentials that you need when you're cooking. So you just need to add in whatever until it seems right. I hate this hand thing. It's so bad. And my family's still trying to figure out Zoom, because they're all old. Okay, so now you're just going to go with your hands, and you just need to mix it, because you're not going to want break the eggs. This looks really gross, but this is what you need to do. And I forgot to add the breadcrumbs, but, if you want, if it smells good, add whatever you want until it seems like what you like. If anything, you can add, red pepper flakes, whatever you want. But this is your recipe. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and just add in breadcrumbs. Because I forgot to add in breadcrumbs, which is really necessary. My mom's gonna come over. She's gonna help me because I always so need help. Breadcrumbs is just kind of give it more shape to it, kind of, I think. Have no idea. No idea. If you guys want, keep one hand clean and use the other one for mixing and stuff like that, so that you can actually pick up other stuff and stuff like that. And then you're just gonna make sure you don't get everything evenly, then some stuff is gonna taste way different and it's not gonna be as good as you want it to be. So make sure that you get everything in there. Now I'm gonna call my mom to help me. Mom! You see, that is my response on a daily. So, It's gonna sometimes if you're getting it like straight out of the fridge. I can't. I have to record, and I'm in the middle of recording. Thank you.
You could record a Zoom.
No, I don't know how. Okay.
Okay, where are we? Let me help you.
We're just mixing.
Hi guys, I'm the sous chef for today. Okay, what are we doing?
Smell.
Did you tell them during time of Corona, especially, you make sure you wash your hands
Yes,
underneath your nails?
Mom.
Okay, so a good sign of a good meatball.
I already told you
Oh,
that.
okay, make sure you smell it.
Just
Did you? I would put a little bit more squeeze stuff. Did you put squeeze?
no.
Okay.
Okay, so squeeze stuff, what my mom refers to, is garlic squeeze, which most of you know that she has because she's a big fan of it. Are we using ginger?
So we have some, no, not ginger. So we have these little cheats. These are awesome. So this one is basil if you want
Yeah,
extra
this is the
basil, and
camera,
Italian.
Mom.
I did an Italian
No,
herb.
but you're taking this out of the camera.
I'm not. I'm done showing. So I'm gonna add some extra because it adds like a little bit extra punch. So just add some little squeezes in there. Hold on. I know. Did you the other thing you can add, which we didn't add last time because we made it dairy free, but it adds some really nice salty flavor
Yeah,
to
thanks
it.
to my sister, everything we have is.
No, but actually it's very low in lactose. So the harder the cheese, the less lactose it has. So what
Are
we're
we
gonna add is some
adding better?
Parmesan cheese.
Oh,
No, it's Italian meatballs. So we have some Parmesan cheese that we're gonna add. Also keeps it nice and moist, gives it that nice sharp cheese flavor to it. So we're gonna add some Parmesan cheese to it. Also acts a little bit like breadcrumbs for some binding.
I already put in breadcrumbs.
I know, that's fine, that'll be enough. We're gonna put that in there.
My mom is a big fan of cheese. Yesterday for dinner, she just had cheese and wine. She's living the life. Oh yeah, we need to preheat the oven.
Okay.
Preheat the oven. That's a good start.
So we're gonna preheat the oven at 350. We're gonna take some cookie sheets.
For anybody that doesn't know how to preheat the oven like Elise, you press bake and then write 350 start. And then when it beeps, that means it's done preheating.
So we're gonna take some cookie sheets, and you can line them with wax paper or with some aluminum foil. And this is where we're gonna roll out our meatballs.
Again, make sure it's really well mixed and then smell it once you're done to make sure like if
And
it's
salt,
good.
guys, is very important. Don't be scared of adding salt.
Unless
you
you're salty
don't want
yourself.
undersalted meatballs.
Oh, once I went to a baking camp and this woman she mixed up her salt and sugar. So she put like 2 cups of salt in and they pretty much had a sodium attack that day. They told us. It was at baking camp. I like that baking camp.
Are they ready to be rolled?
Yeah.
So we're gonna teach you a little trick about rolling meatballs. So
I like
one of the
that.
most annoying things about rolling meatballs is you get the meat stuck to your hands and it's really annoying. So a good way to roll meatballs so that doesn't happen is that you wet your hands. If you wet your hands, the meat won't stick to your hands. So watch, go wet your hands.
I'm a slave now. Child labor, people. Fight against it. I would always suggest keeping a towel by you.
Yeah. So but you don't want to dry your hands. You want your hands wet.
But if they are wet.
No, wet your hands, Catalina. That was the whole
Mom,
point.
don't join me. Here's
Keep them wet. Come here. So you grab a little piece of meat with your hands wet and you roll. And you'll see that the meat doesn't stick. It slides perfectly and you'll get a nice meatball. You want to cup your hand, and when you cup it, it'll be a nice ball of meat, and then you start lining them up.
Imagine you, for all the moms or aunts, whatever.
Show
Imagine
them
you're
the meatball
playing.
so you can see the size.
Imagine you're playing like with Play-Doh. If you
So
guys know
see
what
how
that
they come
is.
out smooth? After a while, by the way, you're gonna wanna wet your hands again so that they slide. And that's the best way to not get that sticky meat all over your hand. So, and I'll help you make some. Let me wash my hands.
And make sure that they're not too big unless you want them big. Because then, secret is, the less big they are, the more you have. That's why I like making them small. That makes it sound greedy. should really be teaching Elise how to do. She made omelets today, actually really good. I thought she was incapable of cooking anything. Right, Mom?
Yeah. So, one of the reasons too that that I bake. Some people put the meatballs straight in the sauce, and you can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that I like to bake the meatballs is because if I have leftover meatballs, the kids can use them to make meatball subs.
We don't have any pies.
Which,
we do.
But it's great. Sometimes they don't want them with sauce. Sometimes they just want meatballs maybe on the side. Or if you have them, you can always freeze the meatballs when they're already cooked, and you can make a different sauce. Like you can make teriyaki sauce. You can make like a different type of gravy, and then you can stretch the meatballs for a while. So go ahead and bake them and cook them, and then you can have.
Also, the fat comes off.
It does. The fat will drain off as it cooks, and then again, you can make different types of sauce for them. You can make Swedish meatballs. You can do all sorts of different things because really the meatballs are already cooked. All you need to do is come up with a different type of sauce for them.
My abuelo makes the best Swedish meatballs.
So it's a good way to sort of stretching out the meat, because really, like if we're making spaghetti and meatballs, they might eat 2 meatballs with the pasta, with what we're making. So there's no point in putting it all in the pasta sauce because we might not eat it with the pasta, with all that pasta sauce. We may be eating 8 of these.
Yes, we also have leftover pasta sauce in a bag.
Right, so when I make homemade pasta sauce, the other thing is that pasta sauce freezes really, really well. You may want to wet your hands a little bit more.
No, I think I'm fine.
Okay. So, so yeah, that's another good type of thing that you can have, and you just can leave it in your refrigerator overnight, and it'll just frost. Or you can also boil it in the Ziploc bag in sort of warm water, in low warm water, and it'll defrost fine, and you have fresh homemade pasta sauce.
Also, Leanne, meatballs and pasta is really good with Diet Coke.
And a glass of wine, just in case you were wondering.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or you can be like, you can put yourself, like, move yourself on both sides, like, you know those people that are lonely and they play checkers against themselves? Yeah, do the same thing with spaghetti and meatballs and the lime spaghetti.
oh, she's saying like in Lady and the Tramp. The other thing is I often make meatballs actually with turkey meat. This was, there wasn't, because of the whole Corona thing, there wasn't a lot of turkey meat to find.
Corona.
But the girls are used to having a lot with turkey. And the other thing is, this is not like baking. You can put the meatballs close together. They're not going to expand in size.
They're actually going to shrink.
They're actually going to shrink. So it's okay if you put them together. You're not going to have to worry about them like expanding and touching or anything like that.
Also, the best thing about these is that they are transportation of meat.
Huh?
They're meat compartments.
Yes, they're little compartments of meat.
Who doesn't love meat if you're vegetarian? Well, actually, that's not bad.
Now, if you're doing like low carb or no carb, you really can skip the breadcrumbs. I mean, the breadcrumbs are sort of a binding agent, but it does have egg in it already, and it is kind of a way to like keep them moist. But again, if you are more concerned about the carbs than anything else, then what you could do is just get a little bit. The mix could be a fattier mix, like an 85-15 mix, and the fat will be enough. And when you have the eggs and everything, and you don't have to worry as much about the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs do with the egg and everything. And some people will actually say to put like bread or breadcrumbs in milk, and that's to keep it moist. But you really don't need it if you have a good fatty mix of meat. If you do too lean of a meat, it will come out dry, but it'll taste good. It'll just be a drier, leaner meat. You can also mix your meats. So what you can do is you can do sort of like a lean meat and maybe a pork, which is what they call like a meatloaf mix, and it comes out really good. Another really good mix, which I like to do sometimes even if I do turkey, is you can do like ground turkey and then maybe like an Italian sausage made out of turkey. And then the sausage also gives it a really nice flavor. You can buy what's called bulk sausage. So bulk sausage is the sausage, but that just means that it's outside of the casing. So instead of seeing the sausage like a hot dog, you will get the same sausage meat, but like in a way that it looks like ground meat. That's what's called bulk sausage, and you can ask for it. So you can ask for bulk Italian sausage, and you can buy like a pound of that, and then you can buy, and it comes in turkey or it comes in pork, and then you can buy like your meat, and you can buy meat like ground beef or turkey, and then you can mix that in, and that also gives it a lot of flavoring with some of this herbs and everything that we already put in here, and it's amazing.
If you are if you don't eat meat, you can do the same exact recipe, but like with beans.
You can't.
Yes, you
So you could do a version, but no, you can do like bean fritters. We can talk about that at another time. We'll teach you how to make black bean patties. But anyway, or garbanzo bean patties. This is done. We're gonna put this in the oven at 350 for about like 20 minutes or so. You can see when they're done. They're gonna get hard to the touch. And they should be done in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. And you can watch them. And then we'll come back and you'll see them. Bye.